Thanks everyone for joining, for deciding to spend your Friday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern with us. We're excited to have you here, and we're excited to talk about this project. My name is JP Albano. I am the co-founder and CEO of Significant Lifestyle Communities. I'm joined by my partners this evening to present this awesome opportunity to develop 24 luxury condos in Peachtree City, Georgia. Before I get too started, I need to do some disclaiming. This investment is strictly and only for 506C accredited investors. What are we working on? We're working on a multifamily construction of 24 condo units. We're purchasing this land for $1.6 million, and we'll be raising $2 million to endeavor in this project. We expect to be completed in 36 months, and we are offering our investors an equity investment and in return 16% minimum annual interest on the deal. And we'll go into the interest rate for investors here in a few. And the total projected returns of this project would be 52.5% with a projected annualized return of 17.5%. All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this deal. As mentioned, we're looking to purchase the land for $1.6 million. We'll be building two buildings, one building at a time. The idea is to be conservative, right? Each building will have 12 luxury condos. Our team has the experience in building luxury condos in Atlanta and actually reside in Peachtree City as well. Peachtree City, or PTC as I'll call it, has a massive shortage of homes for people. And we expect this project, as mentioned, to take 36 months, less actually, but we're trying to add some conservatism to our timeline here. So we bought this deal off market. It was one of the last pieces of land that is developable, if that's even a real word. According to our realtor partner, Michelle Humes, who's on this call as well, there are less than 30 homes for sale in Peachtree City, a city with a population of 38,000. In fact, even in today's interest rate environment, she's seeing bidding wars, or at least the way her team prices homes as to create the environment for that. Our end product, again, is a luxury condominium. We'll build these as spec homes, and that'll allow customers to customize them for a premium. And again, that premium aspect was not included in our projections or any of our underwriting. That's sort of gravy on top. The population in this area is ripe for this type of product that we will build in this walkable live-work community called Laurel Brooke. 43% of the population in Peachtree City are 45 years or older, with a large percentage over the age of 65. So this being built for retirees or empty nesters who really don't want the hassle of owning a home, but want to live in a luxurious place and have the cash to do so. Before we go any further, let's address the number one question in anyone's mind, at least it would be in my mind if I were on the receiving end of this, which is how much money am I going to make? We'll be offering preferred equity return for our investors at a rate of 16% per year for the first 18 months, and then increases each 6 months by 1.5%. I'll show you an example of what that looks like here in the next slide. So as I was practicing on how to explain this, I realized that it's sort of could be a little confusing, right? And I think the easiest and fastest way to describe it is that you'll earn 16% each year, period, right? After 18 months, you will start to earn an extra 1.5% for every 6 months. And it increases 1.5% until we're done. That's kind of really it. So you start with 16, and in this case, after 36 months, you end at 20.5%. We're looking at a 52.5% return on your investment in 3 years. And if it takes longer, then we're going to keep increasing your interest that you can earn. We wanted to make this a very attractive and lucrative investment for our investors to benefit from an increased timeline in the event that things took longer. So we'll get into some of the photos and media here about the project. You'll see the highlights of where the condos will go on this layout here in this green box on the lower left side. Now, I will point out that this is an old sketch, an old rendering of the layout. Some of these things are a little different now, but this is the approximate location of where the two condo buildings will be built. So here's an elevation view of the 3-story building with underground parking. And then if we zoom in here, we can see a floor plan view. We have 4 units per floor. 4 units per floor with an elevator. Here's the elevator, and then here's 1, 2, 3, 4 highlighted, 1 in green to show you what that looks like. And and then we'll actually zoom into the floor plan of one of the units specifically. So here's a close-up of a 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath condo. They're all 2-bedroom, 2.5 baths. There's approximately 1,500 square feet in size. And then this is an aerial site view. The green boxes are where the buildings will be located. We're going to start one building at a time to reduce risk, and only start construction of building number 2 after all of the units in one have been sold out. And again, Michelle is going to help with that. She'll talk about that here later in this presentation. These are some parking spots. These are some parking spots over here, and these are single-family lots that we'll get into later on in the presentation as well. And here are just some of the finish selections that have been made by the designers. We have a number of them, but I'm just going to highlight 3 of them for you: kitchens and some bathrooms. Kind of gives you a sense of the type of finishes and feel that we're trying to go after here. So with respect to strategy, what really gives us an edge on this project? And I think if we start with the implications of what an off-market deal means, which is that there was no public bidding process to drive up the price, that's one aspect. Our team is local, and George and his company, who will be building the buildings here, lives and raised his family in Peachtree City, and so has Michelle. So we have a very specific local knowledge and local contacts in the marketplace. From a risk standpoint, the biggest issue with the ground-up construction is the entitlement risk. It could take years to get approval for zoning, for the planning commission, all the things. And we have that already done. We have plans, we have zoning, it's all complete. We just have to file for the permits. This really is a nice shovel-ready project. And so, part of our investment thesis here is about downside protection. So how are we protecting your investment? Well, our investment thesis is pretty simple, right? It relies on the supply and demand concept. There's not a lot of supply in Peachtree City, period. And demand is very, very high. We're building these units at a very, very low cost basis. In fact, if we flip this deal to somebody else in the developer, we actually could make a few $100,000 doing that. But the upside potential here is beyond that. So we're not interested in doing that. We're escrowing all of the mortgage payments for the loan in escrow on day one. And again, we won't be building that second building until all of the buildings, all the condos in building 1 are sold. I should also tell you that the seller, the developer who sold the property, have already pre-sold 7 of the condos already with virtually 0 advertising. As mentioned, because of the limited supply and because there aren't really any other buildable spots in PTC, we have a very, very low risk of a new product coming online while we're under construction, causing us or having us the cause to compete, right? And as I mentioned, bidding wars are back. Michelle, would you be able to talk more about that?
Absolutely. Thank you, JP. I'm so excited to be here with you guys and so excited to represent the property. Peachtree City is such a special place to live. It's 100 miles of golf cart paths throughout the community, walkable, golf cartable, if that's a word. And there is just no inventory. What we see is so many people from California, Colorado, New York, everywhere wants to live in Peachtree City. Why? It's a great community, but also the movie industry is right next door. It's all in Fayette County. The largest movie studio outside of California exists in our county. So what we see is a completely different product here and a lack of inventory. What JP mentioned is 30 plus homes. What we're seeing is 30 to 35 single family homes. That includes about 2 or 3 townhomes of sorts that are from the 70s or 80s. There is no new construction in Peachtree City, and there's no more land to build. So all of these things combined along with an aging population. For instance, my parents raised me here in Peachtree City. I brought my family back to live here. They still want to live here with me. If they didn't live with me, they might want to live in one of these condos, which are going to just be fantastic for an aging population that wants no steps and wants to still be near their kids and grandkids. I cannot say enough about the fact that there are not enough ranches. The city was built for a younger population in the 80s and 90s as it's a developed and planned community. All of the 2-story homes are going to younger families now, and the aging population, which we want to stick around and we want around, need a place to live. And so this is just such a great solution. I do not think we're going to have a minute's worth of trouble selling them. I think we're going to sell them at top dollar. And I think you can feel confident that your investment in this project is going to end in a beautiful project that will be sustainable and exciting for the community right in central Peachtree City. I just can't say enough about how exciting it is. And it's a different product than what we've ever seen. So I feel very, very excited about it. I'm excited to bring value in the marketing that we'll talk about later, but also in just bringing this product to the community. I think they're going to really love it.
Excellent. Thank you, Michelle.
Sure.
And we'll do team introductions towards the end, so stay tuned for that. So risk analysis, right? Like everything in life, there is risk in everything. What we like about this deal is we've done a lot of things to really share what we've done to mitigate risk. So we'll go through all these at kind of a high level, right? Despite high interest rates, buyers are coming in with cash and scooping up deals. We have very, very low risk of new competition coming in and starting a new project or a new development while we're under construction. There's no zoning work to deal with. We are working with the seller, which I'll get into here, to submit the permits together. This way we reduce any chance of risk that the city's going to have some sort of headache with a new group. And then demand. We talked about demand already with Michelle. Our team has the experience in building condos. Our team has been in business for 30 years and has successfully built other luxury condos in Atlanta and the surrounding markets. And overall, the seller lives in the community, right? So, our success is his success because he has a vested stake in making sure that what we're putting together is going to work and complete his ultimate vision for the community there. So we'll get into some investment highlights. Here there are a number of things that we've done to ensure that our projections for this project are conservative. None of these items here are or have been included as far as the returns go. There is the potential to sell condos for higher than what was underwritten. There is the potential to upsell with particular home customization. We do see an opportunity to perhaps sell additional parking spots at a premium with the condos there. And then we're going to work to create campaigns where we can attract multiple competing offers for each condo. And then what about the sponsors themselves? How are we aligned with our investors? So we're putting our own money in the deal. We don't get paid until after you receive your returns. We are not charging really any fees except for a small acquisition fee. And we have our family and friends investing in the deal alongside with us. So we've seen success in other similar projects. So as mentioned, for fully cycled transactions, my company, Significant, has returned almost 60% average annual return to our investors. And our GC partner, George, and his company have experience in constructing brand new luxury condos, which we'll see in the next slide. These are two projects that George and his team have completed: Skyline at Edgewood and Inman Terrace in town in Atlanta. So we'll get into the financials here. I'm not going to read these line by line, but the takeaway here is that we're expecting to make $8.1 million from condo sales, minus about $900,000 in costs, plus another $6 million in construction costs, leaving us with roughly $500,000 of cash flow after paying off the loan, which will then use that to fund the development and a new construction loan for Building 2, which is part of the Phase 2 construction cash flow. So here we'll take out a new loan and we'll finally sell all of the remaining condos for a profit of about $3.2 million. We're buying the land for $1.6 million for both phases, actually. We'll spend about $4.5 million on construction costs plus other costs. That puts us about 6.7 all in. We'll need about 1.9 million. That comes into the $2 million of equity that we're looking to raise for this project to begin phase 1. And then phase 2, by that time, we'll have already owned the land, and then we'll spend another $4.5 million on the construction costs, and we'll need very, very minimal equity, if anything at all, to complete the rest of the project there. So it occurs to me that we've got a variety of investors on the call today. Some are local here in the Atlanta market. Some are outside and they don't know exactly where Peachtree City is. So I included a map here, and we'll go into some more details about the market itself. Here is Atlanta, as hopefully my mouse is showing. It's probably not showing here. We got Atlanta on the top part of the screen, and then the big gray arrow is pointing to this highlighted area where Peachtree City is. It's basically about 45 minutes, depending on traffic, southeast of Atlanta metro area, the southern part of Atlanta. Now, this is an interesting screen. When I was putting together some of the accolades for Peachtree City, I had a hard time fitting them all in. These are the 10 most recent accolades. You can see they go as far back as 22, all right? The next screen will kind of give you a context of what part that makes up. So that's 10 I highlighted. There's about 60 to 70 different accolades going through the years, and they're basically ranking it as among the best places in America for people to live. If you're familiar with niche.com or niche.com, potato, depending on how you like to pronounce it, PTC has an overall A+ grade. It's the #1 place to live in Fayette County, Georgia, because it really checks all of the boxes. And then this is an interesting slide. So what you're seeing here really is what is the income by population percentages. And if you look where the lower three arrows are on the bottom there, we see that over $100,000 per year of income, the amount of population is significantly higher than the rest of the state. But more importantly, other parts of metro Atlanta where there have been or are historically wealthy people, and that would be the northern part of Atlanta. And so let's talk a little about Laurel Brooke. I may have mentioned this early on. This development is happening in a community called, or currently labeled, Laurel Brooke. The condo is being built in this walkable community. It's the first live and work community in Peachtree City. The main products are really large single-family homes running anywhere from $800,000 to almost $3 million. Laurel Brooke is Peachtree City's first mini village, offering commercial shops. There's going to be 19 single-family custom homes, 6 townhomes, our 2 condominium buildings with underground parking garages, and 8 cottage guest houses that will offer as nightly rentals. Out of those 19 single-family lots, there are only 4 left that are available. Everything else has been sold or is constructed. The property is located kind of in the sweet spot in the heart of Peachtree City. It's located just southeast of Lake Kedron, along Highway 54. And now let's get into the team a little more as we almost wrap up the presentation here. As mentioned, my name is JP, the co-founder, CEO of Significant. I'm responsible for business development. We've owned and operated over 700 multifamily units across 3 states. We're a vertically integrated real estate investment firm with in-house property management and construction management. We've done over $60 million worth of transactions. I'm joined by my partner, Matt. So Matt, would you mind please introducing yourself?
Hi, my name is Matt Shields, and I handle all of the operations for the various companies that JP just mentioned there. And I actually also have about a 20-year background in commercial and residential construction myself as well.
Great, thanks. And George, would you please kindly introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm George Duran, president of Duran Construction. Been in the industry for a little bit over 30 years. Doing commercial, residential, and mixed-use developments and construction.
Great. And Mr. Jeff, please introduce yourself.
Yes, Jeff Daniels here. Actually, I sourced the funding for this particular project. When it was mentioned to me, Peachtree City is a doable place. Born and raised right here in Atlanta, so it was really a no-brainer from a lender's perspective to kind of look into the details, and the numbers really speaks for itself. And I'm excited to be here and looking forward to the opportunity.
Thank you. And then lastly, but not least, Michelle, would you mind introducing yourself?
Of course. So Michelle Humes, I am
go into your marketing plan a little bit in more detail too.
Absolutely. So Michelle Humes, I run the largest team in South Atlanta. We sell about 300 homes a year. And the marketing plan for this will be video, getting the word out about Peachtree City, really letting the consumer know what's happening here in our town, bringing all parts of the world to our area through the power of video. I think it's so untapped in many ways. And that will be our number one strategy in helping people understand how the project is moving along, including our investors and the people who will be interested in perhaps having a second home here or making this their home base with these condos that are coming along. We will continue to have the most consumers calling us because we have over 550 five-star Google reviews. So the people ringing on our phone asking, where do we buy in Peachtree City? Certainly we will be sending them to the Enclave at Laurel Brooke. It's a very exciting project, and I think we are up to the task.
Excellent. Thank you, Michelle. And so we've kind of reached the end here. We'll talk about some next steps. So we've already seen a ton of interest on this deal, and I've already started receiving commitments. If you like this project, it's your turn to create an account and put your name on the line to reserve your spot. Our close date is currently set for July 7th, and we'll need your investment no later than June 23rd. Now, you might say, why not just wire the money on July 6th, right? Well, we really can't close until the escrow agent has all the cash in the account at least 1 week prior to that, right? Plus all of this time, all of the work it takes to sign the paperwork, it does take a little bit of time wiring the money, things like that, right? So go ahead and check out the QR code. This link will take you to our investor portal that we use. This is the easiest way to leave a soft commitment and save your spot. When we're done with the deck here and we send off a copy of the recording and a copy of the deck, all of these links will be clickable, right? So the photos I sent you of the map, the photo of the map, the statistics for Peachtree City, even the QR codes will actually take you to the investor portal where there are live links is the bottom line I'm trying to make here. So which brings us to the last part of the presentation here is really about questions and answers. We've received some questions already from some investors. Can I invest through a retirement account? Yes, you absolutely can. It will take a little bit of time. We work with a couple of custodians in the marketplace that will allow investors to do a self-directed IRA into an investment in the deal. Can you invest more than $100,000? Yes, absolutely. $100,000 is the minimum amount. And we will be taking it is first come, first serve, with preference, though, to larger investments. Will this investment use leverage? Yes, we will be acquiring a fixed rate loan that will be used. Interest payments will be set aside in escrow at closing as well. When will we receive distributions? So there won't be distributions up until really the end of the project. Once we've completed and sold all of the units, that will be enough of the cash flow to then return our capital back to investors and then also pay off the accrued interest that has been accruing all that time. How do I know if I'm accredited? I'm not going to read this full thing. There's a little link here that kind of walks you through how to answer that question. If you are accredited, the gist is if you have a net worth of $1 million and or you make $200,000 a year in income, or you're single. If you're married, I think it's $300,000, and those are kind of the quick back of the napkin ways of determining if you're accredited. But definitely check this link out and see for yourself. And then, can I sell my interest before the deal closes out? No, this is an illiquid asset. So once your money is in the deal, in the project, you won't be able to see it until the very end. But the good news is 3 years isn't really that long of a time. And, there's always the possibility that we'll finish sooner and you'll be happy with that. So with that is really the end. I'll put the last slide here, which is just kind of a track record for the significant team of full cycle deals. Full cycle is just a fancy way of saying deals that we've completed from start to finish. With that, I really appreciate everyone's time. I know the rest of the team appreciates everyone's time. What we'll be doing is we'll be packaging this recording. We'll probably send it out tomorrow at this point. And then any other further questions you have, please feel free to reach out to me. I will be emailing everyone a copy of this presentation and also a link to where you can do the soft commitment on our investor portal. Thank you so much, and I'll be seeing you soon.